Hello. Interesting. Anywho. Let's lay down the black base coat on this. Marbles, I just started streaming. Now's not the time to be down here going wine, wine, wine. Well, I don't care. Arnie's upstairs. What, kitty boy? And? I know you probably can't hear him, but he's down below my chair just meowing up a storm. Okay. So I've coated the fins with a little bit of liquid mask agent. So it should protect them from overspray. Hey, Alex. Yes, it's a mermaid. This is just for the base coat. When I go to do the actual overcoat, I'm going to take the masking agent off and let the color shift go onto the fins to tie it in together better. How have you been? We'll get one side painted, and then while that dries I'll paint the arms, and then we'll come back and do the other side. Just so I can have something to hold on to without grabbing the masked off area of the torso. There's going to be a lot of brush painting going on too. I tried to blend the seams as best I could without losing too much detail, but I don't think I was too successful in that. What? What, when it was like that? How you doing, Aries? Are you home already? Okay. Not using work assets then. Oh, wow. Hi, Marmar. I don't know what you're so meowy about today, bud. What the frick? That's all good. Sometimes I wish I had something like that at my old job. Because I didn't mind the place I was working, just what had happened to it, right? But at the same time, what happened happened and needed to happen the way it happened. You know? And as a side note to that, ran into somebody else who used to volunteer up there, and he'd been wondering where, what happened to me. And he let slip that they hadn't been able to keep anyone on more than a couple weeks in the old position I was occupying, just from the way it's being run. So I found that a little cathartically entertaining. Okay. Put that down like that. I just hope my idea with the color shift paint here works. I'm just happy you had the resources available to discuss that and get it somewhat handled. Oh, come on, autofocus. Yeah, the green to blue violet. So most all the flesh areas are covered in a liquid mask. Just trying to find a way to set her down. This gloss black has always had a tip drying problem. Yeah, and it sounds like, something went awry. I don't know if you'd want to call it a misunderstanding, but it seems like maybe some egos were involved. Similar to my situation. But you had the luxury of a I don't want to say non-biased, but a person outside the situation to refer to assist you. I didn't have that. Yeah, the torso print didn't come out perfect when I initially did it, but there was enough that was okay with it that I felt it was better to just repair it than to try and reprint it again. Not so much because of the cost of the resin involved, but the time. So I just hope that I get my birthday off. I wouldn't mind having a birthday stream this year. I think I missed out on one last year, too. I can't remember. Or if I did have it off, I kind of just spent the day to myself, so. Knew I was going to do that. Like, even one of the arms, one of the fingers misprinted. I'm not too worried about that. There's so much going on with this figure. And I'm not in it to be perfect, you know. I just want to do something cool. Now, if I was really thinking ahead on this, I could have done something really cool and done it wasn't so much that with me, it was just Other people thought they knew better because, you know, younger, not so set in their ways, and I'm thinking they learned that they didn't. But yeah, that day, the old volunteer came in. Was an interesting day. That was not a good headspace day for me at all. More because how I was when I woke up than anything from that. It just that compounded it. I don't want to say I woke up in a bad mood, but I definitely woke up in a questioning the existence of reality mood, for lack of a better explanation of it. It doesn't happen too often, but every now and again, when I am able to sleep for more than 2 to 3 hours at a time, I have these, I want to say, almost dangerously realistic dream states where if it weren't for the fact that I couldn't put numbers together or dial a phone or anything like that, or like fully read something, I'd believe I was awake. That's usually what brings me out of it, is I'm trying to do something involving numbers or reading, and you're not able to do that really thoroughly in your dream. There's people that say you are, and no. You think you are, but you're not. That's why you always have those ones where you're trying to call somebody frantically and you can never dial the number right. So while this dries a bit, we're going to try and explore some details on this figure some more. What color shirt? And we're also going to be working on a character from Zenless Zone Zero soon. Once this one's done, I might do Bernice as well. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to pee yourself driving home. So yeah. This will be a decent sized figure. But pretty straightforward. Once she's done, I want to order some orange resin, clear orange, so I can do Bernice with flames coming out of her flamethrowers. I want to do these olive green as well, because they are the ammo canisters. Or would these look good green, and then this with like a chipped up black and yellow striping on it? Throw me a frickin' bone here. Or maybe the black and yellow on the ammo cans. Just something, add some color to it, because it's supposed to be kind of a wasteland kind of figure. I know I need gray for right now. That'll work. Yeah, this one's going to kind of be a slow burn figure. I'm just going to one piece at a time keep throwing ideas at it until something sticks and makes sense. What, Marmar? What? What are you yelling at me for? I think even his mythical on-screen strength would have trouble with that. I think we talked about that last stream when I was working on her as well. We're just going to paint the whole knee pad for right now, so I can just go in and throw whatever else I want on top. But it helps block it out and isolate it so I can see just the knee pads more clearly when it gets to that. I might just throw this gray on any areas that I'm not 100% on, like her shoes and stuff like that. Like I said, it's a good base to come in at it for something else. Like, I know that's going to be like a buff colored bandage that the knife's just stuck in, so I'm not worried about that. Excuse me. When in doubt, gray it out. It'll start talking to you sooner or later. I've got an idea for the shoes. Let me just get them looking more shoe-like and less dry-brushed. Because it looks like they got steel caps on them. But they were also once like a high-top sneaker. Do you have the 113 kit itself yet? I'd like to get it. I don't know. I don't really like doing 16 scale that can't move, you know? I'm trying to make out what's going on with her shin here. It looks like metal pieces that are wrapped up in a bandage, like a shin guard, but she doesn't have it over here. And it's similar to her left arm as well. That's a gas mask. Why all the yawns? Why now? It's making my eyes water too. Let's see how the mermaid's drying. Still a little tacky. But I can remove the mask on the fins at least, I think. Set you aside to dry for a minute. I know I painted you all the way down to there. I might have to do the old pencil eraser trick here in just a second. Okay, that one's peeling more appropriately. And that's what I was trying to avoid, but okay. Glue that back on here in a minute when we're done. That way I'm not repeatedly breaking it off. Rubber brushes are great for this too. So if you have a rubber brush for sculpting, it's also good for taking off liquid mask that's in those hard to reach areas that just wants to be a pain in the ass. I just want to do a good first Gulf War NATO 3-color camouflage, but just with all the gear on the outside, you know? Alright. I should be on for a bit, so don't worry about getting back in time or anything. There we go. big old fin in the face here. So what this did is it leaves the main body of the fin clear, and the shifter paints are essentially a clear medium with the prismatic element added to it. So when I overspray it onto the base of the fin and blend it, it'll carry that color shift out into the fin but not completely overpower it. So when it's on display, the fin will still have that transparent quality but carry the shimmering color of the rest of the body. At least that's the idea. We'll see if it works. I probably should have put a second layer of liquid mask on, but that's okay. I forgot I went up this high with it. Excuse me again. Oh my god. Allie's being a good girl. She's back on the couch, just hanging out. Yeah. So next week I'll be off Monday and Tuesday, and Thursday. So I just hope I can pick a good subject for the Monday, Tuesday stream. Oh, at least it's Friday, so you don't have to be too terribly asleep anytime soon. Unless you gotta work tomorrow, then yeah, go to bed. So the shifters can work if you just spray them over a material. They work mostly best when they're sprayed over gloss black. But see, that one broke again. Okay. Those were breaking when I was trying to get the supports off too. That's no big deal. So yeah, I mainly need them to show through best on the body and then become more ethereal on the fins. And we'll have to glue that fin back on that just snapped off too. We'll do that once we get her cleaned up a little. It's just the rubber tip helps grip it a bit more and get it started, especially if it's in like nooks and crannies and you're not able to roll it off like this. I didn't think this stuff would grab so well on this. Holy crap. We'll glue that fin back on once all the rest are cleaned off, and I'm sure that we're not going to go popping it off again. Tweezers. We'll probably snap off one or two more of these small fins. I remember them being a pain in the ass when I was getting it removed from the supports. Yeah, the toothbrush, the benefit of this is once it starts rolling, the rubber just grabs it and goes. A toothbrush can work, but this is just a bit more firm, I guess you could say. Make sure I'm not missing any calls from the wife or messages from anybody. Nope. Just love it when your eyeball decides it really has to itch. Last one. This one might snap off too. This one's always had a terrible base joint on it though. Yeah, I'll be 49 next month, so I wish I was turning 38 again. That was 10 years ago for me. Now I feel old. Let's get that fin glued back on, and then we'll start up the shifter. What's really sad though is the shifters don't show up very well on camera. They look amazing in person, but they don't show up well on camera at all. Sure I've got no liquid mask on there, which will interfere with the super glue. Doesn't seem like it. right? I'm hoping I'm hoping that part of it is because, at least in my case, I have family. You know, I have Mason and all that, and him growing up made it all go by a lot quicker. But now that that's done, I'm hoping maybe now it could throttle back a little bit. Find a way to help it throttle back somehow. You know? I can't explain it any better than that. So, Aries asked earlier what shifter I'm using. It's Vallejo green to blue violet. Never really used it before, so we'll see how it pans out. I've used the shifters before, just not this particular one. Clean out the nozzle a little bit first. Yeah, you don't want to go too thick with it, but you do have to layer it for the color to really start building up and showing. And I do have 2 bottles of it just in case. This would make a good beetle carapace color too, I think. If anyone wanted to do like a 3D printed rhinoceros beetle, or like even Tyranids. But you can see how it's starting to come out there. We're gonna try and get it. Motherfuck. Don't know how I missed this. It's starting to come out. Usually takes about 3 to 4 passes for a somewhat intense but uniform color shift on it. And it shows up more in person than it does in camera, I'm afraid. Part of it, though, is it has to lie down. So as it dries, it lies down more. is it doing this? I'll probably have to thin it a little bit because it's clogging when it shouldn't be. This is a brand new bottle. I'll just puff it for now. Another trick, if your airbrush is starting to get a little finicky on you, pull the needle back so it's just a spray gun. But yeah, I can feel there's something going on inside the nozzle here, so we'll get this through it and then clean it again. Because it was spraying fine, so something ain't right. Try this. Nothing on the brush. But there's something sticking it up right there. I can feel it. Like I said, we'll get this through it and then we'll give it a good clean before we do more of the shifter. Come on. Or not. Looks like we're cleaning it out right now. Two things. We're going to partially thin the shifter. Maybe its carrier medium is kicking off a bit too quickly. And we're going to really clear out the nozzle area of the airbrush because it's a bit too finicky at the moment. Probably had a pigment ball. The shifter pigment can sometimes collect and cause issues. Yeah, there it is. Clean off the needle before I put it back in. I really got to clean out the whole brush before I put it back in because we got shit everywhere in it now. Let me do this over the garbage can. Sorry about the intermission, folks. Help if I put the trigger back in. I got cleaner everywhere in this thing. It's bubbling up around the trigger now. Yeah, you can kind of hear it when you hear the kind of a whistle noise. It means there's something right in the nozzle on the needle. Let's try something else too. There we go. A little higher pressure to help throw it through too, since this is a more heavily pigmented paint. Shot with just straight. Yep, that works. She's clear. try this again. Really? Now it's starting to come out a bit more. We still got to turn it over and do the backside. Damn it. Don't you just love it when the paint job fights you? Hopefully that means the actual end result's going to come out so much better for it, though. As long as it doesn't screw up too much. I would surely hate to test the aerodynamics of this model. Absolute fucko. I guess airbrushing on a 100-degree day isn't the best idea anyway. But I gotta do it, or else I'll never get anything done. Even with the AC on here, it's extremely dry. So, like, all the moisture is just getting pulled out of the air. Like, I filled in my gecko's water dish yesterday, and it was already half dry by the time I got home. There we go. Just needed some love. I want to go over the base area by the tail a little bit more. Now that we got it cleared back up some. And also carry it out onto the fins. Like I said, the way these work is they're like a clear carrier paint with the pigments in them for the shift. And when they fully lie down, that's when the color shift effect comes into play. So I'm kind of playing with that a little bit between the solid black base body and the fins. And I got this idea because I remember just some of the small fish I'd have in my fish tank in my room when I was a kid. I'd just sit and watch them in the light forever. And even what you would think is the most boring minnow would have this pearlescent effect going on that was just really cool to watch. And then the paint fumes wore off. Oh, wait. This is starting to do what I want it to, kinda. I think I just gotta periodically remove the nozzle and clean it out, because the air passage gets gummed up a little too. And it doesn't want to pull the paint as well as it could. Yep. Yeah, you can really kind of see how it's taken effect on that fin there. And I know it's spittering and sputtering. I'll probably have to get a new needle or something for it too. That's just a sign of paint drying on the tip too. back up to the top again, because I didn't get these as much as I got the lower bit. Could be that we're also running out of paint. There we go. Alex, thank you for that. All your donations have meant a lot. Well, the airbrush is relatively new. I didn't feel... When I had the needle out, I didn't feel a nick on the tip of it, so I think the needle's fine, but... I might want to look into, like, a set of them for this. It's a Badger Velocity. And I just wanted to see if they had, like, larger bore needles, because I think this is more for fine work, and I'm trying to do broad work with it. So thank you very much. I'll probably hop on Amazon tonight and look into that. Because after I'm done streaming here, I'm going to go out in the garage, start sanding on the Camaro to patch up some of the paint that's gone a bit crap over the winter. But that's the real thing about these shifter paints, though. You have to layer them. You can't just one and done it. Because you got to see how it lays down, right? That. It's definitely spraying a lot better. Yeah, I think I just need to find a large bore needle and tip set for it. Because you can see how with one layer you're seeing the color come through, but it's not as uniform or intense. I wish the shift came out more. Hold on. There we go. You can see how it goes from purple to green a lot more there. You can use them with a brush. They will come out a little streaky because you're not applying the pigment that does the shifting uniformly. If you're careful though, you can do it with a brush. But they're best applied with an airbrush. Testers actually has them in a spray can. I don't know of any European source for that though, unfortunately. How did that clog up that easily right now? Jeez. I really got to get a humidifier for this room. Get some music going. It's already been an hour and a half just fighting this paint. Yeah, we're still looking for a way to get the multi-chat window to appear in the main screen, so that way everybody can see everybody else talking. But we did get multi-stream through OBS to finally start working properly. Jesus Christ. Can somebody restart the war between India and Pakistan, please? I would really like a break from these spam calls. Okay, yeah, this time we got... Yep, a big old goocher there. Yeah, let's not rest it on that fin. I think even when like professional car painters use these paints, they go up to a 0.5 needle or something. They use a broader needle to lay it down more. Oh, now it's going. Whoa. Now it's flowing like crazy. Where were you 45 minutes ago, huh? Hey, Ari. Oh, wow. From this angle... Oh, what? Yeah, you can see it really showing up in the face cam, too. When I hold it level like this, to me, the entire front's purple, but when I tilt it up, it goes green. Okay, that's gonna be cool when it comes to video time. Time to blend these two together. No, just one. The purple to green. Why? Yeah, ooh, there you can see it. You see how it goes purple, and then bam! Purple, green. Oh, no, the front and the back to make sure the intensity is the same between the two. That way I don't have like a dark strip going down the side. Let's add some more paint. I'll give it one more good overall. Just get whatever the hell this is out. Because the other thing I'm trying to avoid is tiger striping, where you can see the path of the spray, where they don't quite overlap very well. That was bad standing still too long like that, but looks like we got something in the passage again. Still getting it to spray out though. I think I got the front as uniform as I'm gonna get it. Sorry if I'm not on screen with this. I'm trying to get it from directions I haven't looked at it yet. Hey, Kenneth. How you doing? How are you? That is turning out exactly how I thought. Look at that. Giving the fins just that iridescence to make them look solid, but when the light goes through them, bam. Yep, I don't think I can do any more on that. Now to finish the arms. Yay! And I'm out of paint. But it actually ran dry this time, which is good. And we're using Shifters by Vallejo for anyone coming in new. Their Space Dust range, the green to blue violet. Ah. There. I really don't want to put the rest of this back in the bottle. I should probably just give the whole body just one more good shot. Oh, I really wish the camera picked up the shift on that. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some Tamiya clear to really seal this stuff in and make sure nothing fucks with it. I'm glad that's done, because we are in need of a stand-up break. We're in great need of a stand-up break. I hope everybody else is getting ready to have a good weekend. As usual, I have to work. That's alright. I am working on 4th of July, however. But I'm off on my anniversary, so that's good. Yeah, you can see where the color shift isn't. No, you can't see where it's on my thumb because it's blown out. Let me try that. I haven't printed out her base yet. That might be pushed up to tonight once the rest of the Zenless Zone Zero characters' body parts are printed. Because I'm going to need her base if I'm going to paint more on her, because I need to stand her up. If I handle it too much, too soon, I could wind up wearing off a lot of that shifter. And I really don't want to go through the effort of matching that again. Okay, one more flushing and we should be okay. I'll probably take the airbrush apart tonight and put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. So anybody else who's been watching me for the past hour and 45 minutes, if you haven't stood up and moved around recently, take this time to stand up, move around. Your legs will thank you for it. Okay. So I will be right back. I'm back. As far as the anniversary, it's the wedding anniversary. Yeah. This channel anniversary is not till September-ish. Yeah, looks like the liquid mask worked well. I have to find a place to set this for now. Oh, I could just go right over here. We'll spend more time on this little one. Let's see if I can get it to do more fun on the face cam. Yeah, you can see the blue there. And then, actually, yeah, the face cam's picking it up okay. It's a bit more saturated than it should be, more blue and purple than green and purple. Well, 22 years, not many people making it to that these days. This needs to stay with that. We're gonna spray this down real quick and clean up. So I am going to be off a little earlier tomorrow. So if possible, I'm going to try and get a stream going when I get home. I'll have to see how it pans out, but there's a really good chance of it. Because one thing I'm thinking of doing is theming the days. So like Sci-Fi Saturday, Scale Sunday, for whenever I'm off those days, you can kind of know what to expect. You know, if I'm off on a Wednesday, it'll be like whatever Wednesday. You know, give me some ideas on what you guys would like to see in that regard. Why is the face cam showing digitization? Are you guys seeing this? Or not the face cam, the that was weird. It was glitching. There we go. Keep things looking somewhat clean. But this is the first real model work I've kind of done all week. I really haven't had a lot of determination to do much, it feels like, so thank you everybody for being here. I don't know if it's me just trying to save ideas for stream days or if I'm just being lazy. Probably just being lazy, to be honest. Yeah, I'm thinking a really dirtied up, busted up yellow and black on that instead. We'll brush it on though, so it just looks shitty as all hell. On purpose. Or not. This isn't even brushing on well. Ew. I want it to look shitty, but not that shitty. We'll keep going, see what happens. Okay, that's not too bad now. But I'd still take a Ripley type character over a girl boss type character like Black Widow or Pepper Potts or anything like that. Yeah, we'll probably just have to give it a second coat of yellow after this one dries. Like I said, we're just throwing shit at this to see what sticks. But another reason I don't care if it looks perfect or not, we're talking about somebody holding two 50 cals here. One is difficult enough, and that's just carrying the damn thing. Now that it's more uniformly coated, I'm liking my decision. Let me see something here. nothing yet. Trying to make sure there's no thick buildups anywhere of the yellow. Okay, we'll let that dry. Don't know what to do about the scarf around her neck, because there appears to be a pattern on it. Actually, seeing it even larger like this helps me figure out kind of what the hell's going on. Let's look at the leg like that. Yeah, that just looks like random chunks of steel riveted together over her sock. So I think I'm going to go with that. We're going to go with that steel look. And maybe give it like a rusty treatment. Ah, idea. I need my umber. Umber. Burnt umber. Where are you? Yeah. Well, it wasn't that Ripley should have been male. There was an addendum to the script where any two characters could be female. And then it was Ridley Scott's idea to say, well, why don't we make Ripley female? And the rest is history. Alright. Yeah, there's straps on the back. Yeah, it looks like this is just a bolted together mess of metal plates for a shin guard. So I've got an idea. But one thing that I wish Ridley Scott had, I don't want to say I wish he delved into it deeper, but I wish had more kind of emphasis? No, that's the wrong word too. In Prometheus, when you see David watching the dreams that the crew is having, especially Shaw, that was actually an idea from Alien. Prometheus is nothing but all the refused and rejected ideas from Alien. It's not original by any means. Every single thing you see in that film can be traced back to one of the original drafts for Alien that got rejected. And then her arms also got kind of that metal plating look too. So essentially, Prometheus is what could have been made back in '79 had Giler and Hill got their way and made the movie they were writing. Because they kept rewriting the script and really fucking over Dan O'Bannon and Ron Shusett. But in the end, all their ideas got rejected, all the storyboards got rejected, and the movie that was made was actually, aside from the addition of Ash, it was almost word for word what Dan O'Bannon had originally written. I think I'm gonna go make all these metal pieces just rusted. So like the armor here, the shoulder pad there, the stuff on her arm here and her leg there. Unless I think of something else, we're gonna go with that. And if I get totally dissatisfied with it, well, I can always print another one. And a lot of the ideas that are in Alien Covenant are the original rejected ideas for Prometheus. One of the things that they didn't do in Covenant that they would have had, they followed that idea more, was having the alien that shows up at the end of the movie. We should just call it David's reverse engineered alien, really. But having that fight the paler neomorph looking things. They were supposed to have a nice little fight. Where is it? There we go. Yep. Yeah, when you think of it, I'm glad they didn't go through with their ideas, because honestly, they didn't work, in my opinion. But yeah, if you've got the Alien Blu-ray box set or the Quadrilogy DVDs, go back and watch the Alien making of that came with that. It's the same one that's been re-released all these years. Especially the earlier portions when they're talking about the ideas they had with the pyramid and all this stuff. And you'll see how much of Prometheus was ripped from that. definitely gonna have to let the mermaid cure for a few days before I can do too much more with her. Just to make sure that paint is thoroughly dry before I handle it. But I like how it's turned out so far, though. I really don't know what color to make her socks. Yeah, but once you notice it, you can't not notice it. And then for something that'll really make you feel sad, look into the original draft for Prometheus and see what could have been before they decided to say, nah, we're going to make it what it is now. But even in the behind the scenes for Alien Covenant, there is a big chunk of something they left out that would have made Covenant make a little more sense. Anyone who's been here a while knows what I'm going to say. Why do you think there was no record of that planet in the company archives in Covenant? Because the company knew David was there. They didn't want anyone finding him. They knew what he was up to. So they took the planet off the records. Because again, there's more behind the scenes stuff, and it's not one of those, oh, you have to read the book based on the comic, based on the idea. No, they filmed it, they made it. They knew he was reverse engineering stuff, and he was a threat. And even a throwaway line from David mentioning something like that, like, oh, the company knows I'm here. Wait, what? That would have clarified so much. Dry skin. I hate it. I'm probably gonna have to come back and touch up a lot of these skin areas because I notice a lot of stuff that I've missed. Little gaps in the wrappings and stuff like that, but that's fine. But that's the thing, it's kind of the missing piece, because I don't know about anyone else, but every time you watch Alien Covenant, you're like, there's a really simple thing missing from this story that would just make everything click into place, and you just never get it. And I think part of it is the fact the company knows he's there and what he's doing, and that they don't want him getting set free on the rest of the galaxy. Because you gotta remember, while he's doing that, they're sending the Nostromo to LV-426. And now, while he's on his way to that colony, the events of Alien are playing out, and then shortly after that, the events of Romulus happen too. So it's become muddled. And unfortunately, the series is actually hurt from it. Because if you watch it chronologically, going into Alien, a lot of the things are already spoiled for you. Because now if you start with Prometheus, then go to Covenant, and then go to Alien, the egg chamber and the ship they find are all spoiled. There's no mystery to it anymore. And that's what makes Alien work so well, is that you don't know what you're looking at. But now you do. Jesus Christ, fucking spam calls. What the hell? They've been on a rampage lately. What now? What's really sad is that the first day that India and Pakistan went to war with each other, that's the one thing everybody noticed is, hey, the goddamn scam calls stopped. put that second layer of yellow on. It won't need to be as heavy. That's opaque enough for me. As soon as that's dry, we can start laying in the diagonal stripes. We are really jumping all over the place on this figure. Hey Haven, welcome to the channel. Yeah. That's a conversation for another day on another stream, I think, though. Not that I want to turn into a political commentary stream. Well, we just finished putting the base coat on the mermaid with color shift, purple to green. And now we're just throwing stuff at this figure and seeing what sticks and what works and what we feel like doing. Give me a sec. To be honest, I'm probably going to rely on washes to do a lot of the elbow grease or the hard work and stuff on this figure overall. Once I can figure out what my base colors are. We're going to be kind of lazy, but see what we can do to make it not seem lazy. Me? Take the lazy route? Never. Like one thing we may test out before the stream's over, I put that mid-tone blue-gray color here. I want to use some of the washes my wife got me for Christmas to see if I can just bring that to life with that. She got me some of the game color washes by Vallejo, and one of them's blue, and it's a dark blue. I don't know if that's something I want to do on stream or if I want to mess around off stream. I'll probably apply it on stream so that way the next time you see it you can see the end result once it's dry. And honestly, her facial scarf reminds me of like an old kitchen tablecloth with a checkerboard on it for some weird reason. Oop. Come here, you. Oh yeah. I've been doing a lot more stuff outdoors too. Taking care of the yard and trying to work on the car. I'll be doing a bit of that this afternoon, but I gotta keep the stream going too. It is my responsibility. You're waiting for some of the washes too? Excuse me. Yeah, mine came from Amazon. My wish list is like a mile long, but it's basically just, ooh, this is interesting. Maybe one day if I get bored enough or finish enough, I'll order it, you know? This is from Nutshell Altair, I think it is. That's one of their 3D designs. No name. They just call it the thick post-apocalyptic girl. I printed her out for something different. I'm just seeing what I can do with it. Just an empty idea, basically. Turn down that. Basically, we're just throwing crap at the figure and seeing what sticks in terms of paint ideas. If I don't like it, I can always print another one or dunk her in Windex and strip her down. And the files come for some more not safe for work or not safe for streaming options. But I don't do that here. To me, there's no point in printing out the nude parts because what am I going to do? Put them on my shelf for everybody to see? Just trying to bring out the texture of the bandages so I can make out the layers for when I go to do the shadows and other details around them. I'm painting this figure very lazily. No glazes, no blending, no nothing like that. Gonna be using wash, dry brush, light overstrokes, things like that. Keeping it really simple. Excuse me. I'm trying to get Ares back into model building, but he doesn't want to finish putting his new hobby room together after he moved. He's also being really quiet on the Twitch side, so I'm trying to get him to talk. And then next week we'll probably be printing out this character, or not printing, painting this character from Zenless Zone Zero. That was my wrist that just went snap. Let that set up for a minute. Need some flat black, or black gray actually. There we go. Excuse me. Snap, crackle, pop my neck. I don't know how perfect these lines will be, but I really don't care. Because I'm going to be putting a lot of dirty washes and stuff over it, rust, things like that. The pattern will be there to stand out, but it will be really occluded by dirt and streaks, I think. And as long as they're somewhat evenly spaced, that's fine. That, and I just wanted a bit more color on the figure than I'd had. Like, the blue shorts are one thing, but a lot of other things are going to seem drab just because of what they're made of. I might throw some color into the shoes and the face covering. Maybe some other little things here and there, but overall, this is probably as bright as it's going to get here. And even this is going to get toned down. And again, sorry. Didn't sleep very well last night because we had thought that Arnie finally ran off to die. Again. No, he was just hidden up in our son's room behind something that he couldn't get out from behind, so we were up till almost 1 in the morning looking for his ass. Only to find him this morning. So that's where my yawning's coming from. That and I'm damn tired. Yeah, I think that's good enough. You notice I haven't painted the feed chutes because they're actually a really convenient thing to hold on to. I'll paint those probably last, right before I do the antiquing on the 50 cals. Actually, while I've got this out, let me do some of the more aggressive straps. If I can stop that. Ah! It's probably my body saying lunchtime is near. There's a lot of little details that are going to get plucked out here when it comes to the fine detailing end of things. A lot of little specular highlights I'm going to have to add. We'll probably do more painting on her on Monday. That's the next expected stream day. Like I said, I'd like to do one tomorrow, but I honestly can't guarantee. Just because usually when I get off work, I just want to kind of stop and zone out and not do much of anything. Some days I get the energy up, but most days I don't. Nothing wrong with having tiny feet. Some shadows on this. We'll come back and sharpen those up a bit more later. But if I'm yawning this bad, I think the nap trap got Aries. He did just get off work, so. I'm trying to avoid the nap trap myself. I gotta go sand down the door in my car. If you got any questions about what I'm doing, just feel free to ask. We're probably going to wrap up here in about 15 minutes as well. Just so I can get something to eat and then get my car in the garage, start working on that. But as always, if you like what you see, remember to hit those 3 buttons, the like, follow, subscribe, and all that, and the alerts. Been noticing kind of a plateau in the traffic, so I don't know if it's a YouTube side thing or I need to tighten up my game. But whatever you guys feel like you can do to help would be greatly appreciated. I just realized I completely forgot to paint a part of the shirt. But before we end, I'm going to do what we're discussing. I know I haven't finished painting the belt back here. That's fine. We're going to hit up some of the creases on the shorts with a blue wash and see what that does. I don't know how dark it is. It's actually pretty bright. That may not work. What else have I got? Umber. No. Black. Flesh. Purple? No. Purple would be too purple. Let's try this and see. Maybe we'll get a happy accident out of it. Probably not. It's actually looks lighter than what's there. Alright, let's just bring it down through here and see. It's kind of settling. Okay. I see it. Yeah, we'll throw this on. We'll let it dry overnight, fully set, and see what it does. It might lay a good groundwork for the denim effect I want to do. We'll give it a chance. Once we get far enough along, I'm going to have to start holding her by the wooden base. So I'm going to really start wearing off a lot of the paint if I'm not careful. It's doing something interesting there. We'll see how it settles around all the details. If anything, I just go back and pluck out all the highlights and flats a bit more. Whoops. I will leave that as is. We'll let that dry overnight too before I throw the umber wash onto the shield. I don't know what to do about it in here. I'll think on that. Yeah, I'll have to look at some of my references for post-apocalyptic stuff and see what I come up with. But with that, we're going to end the stream, just a little hair earlier than 3 hours. Thank you everybody for watching. Started off rough, but we had a good end result with the mermaid. That does look really nice, especially the way the shifter ties into the fins now. Gives a nice iridescent quality to it. I just wish the effect showed up better on the main camera. But that is really what I was going for. So I might try for a stream tomorrow. It depends on how I do on the car today. If I get the car done well enough, maybe. But next stream day should be Monday and Tuesday. And we'll see from there. So thank you everybody for watching. Have a good day. Thanks again to Alex for the donation. And I hope you all have a good day.